اللهم صل. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الأخلاء يومئذ بعضهم لبعض عدو إلا المتقين. Respected brothers and elders, brothers and sisters in Islam, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us in the company of the righteous in this world. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raise us amongst the righteous on the day of Qiyamah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fill our lives with mercy and rahmah, as all of us are in the need of the rahmah and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have, alhamdulillah, started our 25th day of fast. 3 of the odd nights have already left us. We just have few moments that are left of the month of Ramadan, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to spend the rest of the month of Ramadan in the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could be pleased with us. The moments, the times that we could have made the effort and we did not, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to truly exert ourselves in the best way possible, and to give us the barakah of the remaining days and the times of this beautiful month. 25th day of our fasting. This is the 25th Sipara or the 25th Juz. The surah itself is known as Surah Zukhruf, which is the 46th surah in the order of recitation, 43rd surah actually, and the ayat of the Quran is the 67th ayat of the Quran. The ayat of the Quran begins by saying, Al-akhillau yawma idhin ba'aduhum li ba'adin udu. The word al-akhilla refers to a relationship between two individuals. And relationships between two individuals could be of many forms. And if you talk about friendship, just relationship of friendship, there are different levels of friendship as well. And of course, the lack of time will not allow us to really discuss the details of different levels of friendships that the Quran actually speaks about. But the Arabic language is so beautiful and profound that the depth of relationships is described through different terminologies in the Arabic language. So even in English, we have slight, feelings of these words. Like for example, a friend or a buddy, or like, and the kids now, they say BFFs or something like that, right? Things of those sorts where you select certain words and terminologies on the closeness of relationship between individuals when it comes to friendship. In the Arabic language, friendship is of multiple types. There are friends that you might see maybe once in a blue, but you're friends, meaning there's ta'alluq and there's relationship. There are certain individuals that you might see frequently and you have this continuous relationship and you are very frequent. But there are those that you don't really tend to share a lot of your personal details. They know you, they're friends, you love them, but you don't tend to share a lot of your personal details with them. And then there are those individuals who are very close and they also know you very personally as well, and you're able to share your personal information with them. And then there are those that are very frequent to your own lives, meaning you don't even have to really inform them, they already know because they're truly a part of your life. So there are multiple steps of friendship. And that's why in Arabic language, there are words such as Siddiq or Siddiq as a friend, but also as truthful person. But there's Siddiq is also a type of a friend. Rafiq is also a friend, a companion that you travel with, you hang around with, people know you. And Khalil is also one of the types of friend. And Khalil itself is a friendship that you would refer to as someone very, very close to the point that they're on your speed dial. Right? That's how close a Khalil is. That whenever you need, that's your go-to guy. That's your go-to friend. That's the Khalil itself. So the Quran, while defining friendship and defining to the maximum level of friendship, meaning close relationship. So the Quran says al-akhillau. And Khalil, al-akhilla is the jam'a, the plural form of Khalil. Al-akhilla, many close friends. Yawma idhin ba'duhum li ba'dihin adu. On the day of Qiyamah will become enemies for one another. Meaning, they would not want to see each other's faces. They would be the closest, as they would say, they were the tightest in this world. They were always together. They always hung out. They were the closest in this world. يَوْمَئِذٍ بَعْضُهُمْ لِبَعْضٍ عَدُوٌّ. But on the day of Qiyamah, they will become the worst of the enemies. Adu means true hatred. Like they don't want to see each other's face. إِلَّا الْمُتَّقِينَ. Except those that if they were friends and their friendship was for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Except for those whose friendship allowed them to find the closeness of Allah. Except for those whose relationship brought them near to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And ulama have mentioned multiple stories with regards to this very particular ayat of the Quran. Amongst them is Umayyah bin Khalf and others were some of the greatest leaders of Quraysh. And amongst them there were few that felt inclined towards Islam. But it was the pressure around their own circle and their own friends that never allowed them to do the right thing. To the point that the Quran says on the day of Qiyamah, they will stand against one another as enemies. Because of the influence of one another, they were not allowed to do what was correct and right. And there will be many who will be raised as the closest companions because their friendship allowed them to come close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Individuals like Abu Bakr and Umar and others, radiallahu anhum, that a lot of them, because it was close relationships, that allowed them to come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this very ayat of the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking to us with regards to the importance of our friendship, of who we befriend. First and foremost, brothers and sisters, one thing that we all need to do is assess our own circle. Who are the closest people around us? That's the first thing that all of us should gauge, because it's important to us, because it's important to our akhirah. It's important for our iman, of who are the people that are closest to me. This is the first thing that we need to do. Number two, all of us have from our side need to be the best friend. We need to be the best companion for others. We need to be the best source of good for others. I have to see, what influence does my presence have in the life of others? That's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Tuba liman ja'ala Allahu lahu miftahan lil khair." Glad tidings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a man or a woman who becomes a key for good and a lock of evil. And woe upon an individual who becomes a key for evil and a lock for good. I have to see what is my impact on my friends around me. What is the effect that I leave behind? So from this ayat of the Quran, the first thing that we all need to assess from our own self is who are my companions? Who are my friends? Who is my closest circle? It does not have to be big, but we all need to see who have the biggest impact in my life. And sometimes we don't even understand, but there is a silent impact of the people that are around us, or we surround at all times. They may not directly even tell us to do something, but their lives and their actions slowly begin to impact us. And that's why one of the worst things, brothers and sisters, is that when we become used to seeing sins that don't feel like sins anymore. And that's the time when the heart has really died. May Allah protect us. When you feel the pain of a sin being committed in front of you, you know that there is iman. And once we lose the feeling of even sins and the commands of Allah being broken in front of our eyes, then that means that we become too used to seeing wrongs, and it slowly may impact our lives. I may not be directly doing that wrong at this moment, but if I don't feel the pain of a sin in front of my life, then it very soon may become a part of my own life, because I've become so immune to seeing sins because of the companions that we have. A person may say that, you know what, I'm not doing it, the people around me are doing it. But we become so used to people doing it that it also may become our life. So the first thing from this ayat of the Quran to take back is, everyone assess, who is my companion? Who is my closest circle? Who is those people that are around me or I am around? Because there's an impact. There's a sense of effect that comes to the heart of an individual. Always asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the suhbah and the companion of salihin and righteous. That's the Arabic writer, author used to say something very beautiful, and I'll conclude with this. He said, "Uhibbu salihina wa lastu minhum." This is an Arabic share quote. He said, أُحِبُّ الصَّالِحِينَ وَلَسْتُ مِنْهُمْ. I love the righteous, but I'm not from amongst them. Allah, he says, I ask Allah that He makes me from amongst those, right? So seeking the companions of, number one, look at your own circle. Number two, what impact do I have in the life of others? Am I having a positive impact? Is my presence having a negative impact? And last but not least, making sure that even if we have to decrease that circle or filter that circle, select and choose the right people to be around with. Because brothers and sisters, that will impact your iman. That will impact your iman. And I cannot say this enough. We talk about this for our children. It also impacts as well. A person will always be upon the religion of their friends. Hadith of Rasulullah. I've seen this with my own eyes. People in religious families, but children took the religion of the friends that they had around them, or the suhbah of the friends that they were with. That's what Rasulullah said, فَلْيَنْظُرْ مَنْ يُخَالِلْ. Be careful for who you associate with. So the third thing is, your companionship has a big, big effect. So again, this is the 25th Siqara, the 25th Juz. Today is our 25th Surah fast itself. This is Surah Zukhruf. This is verse number 67. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us, Al-Akhillah. And Khalil means close friends, not the ones that were just friends. Very, very close friends. Al-Akhillau yawma idhin ba'duhum li ba'din adu. On a day will become enemies, worst of the enemies. Why? Because they did not allow or become a source of goodness for one another. Illa, except for those muttaqeen, those that they had love for the sake of Allah, they had iman and taqwa. May Allah give us good companions, good friends, and allow us to be in the company of the righteous in this world and on the day of Qiyamah as well, inshallah. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanahu wa bihamdihi.